We know the U.S. consumer is feeling a lot better, courtesy of the massive decline in the price of gasoline. That amounts to about a $1,000 tax cut on average for every household in America. But where are people spending this newfound disposable income? Are they putting it in their homes? On the one hand, Williams-Sonoma and Bed Bath & Beyond have been on fire, but on the other hand, Pier 1 Imports is really struggling. Ethan Allen Interiors, ETH, reported a miss back in late January. Stock did get clubbed. However, I think the weakness here may be company-specific and possibly just short-term in nature. Now, Ethan Allen has a network of roughly 300 design centers, mostly in the U.S., that provide you with almost everything you need for your house, design, furniture needs. About half their stores are company-operated. The other half are run by independent retailers. Back on January 27th, Ethan Allen reported an 8-cent earnings miss off a 45-cent basis, weaker than expected revenues that rose just 2.1% year-over-year. That's because of softer sales trends and much higher clearance levels, because the company is needed to move lots of older inventory because it's got new lines coming in. Now, Ethan Allen is in the process of changing more than 70% of its merchandise, while also renovating its store base, the kind of long-term turnaround efforts that we know can yield real results, but in the near term, they cause some pain. Just witness how the stock dropped from $31.65 down to $27.81 the day after it reported, and it's been trapped at the $27 level ever since. So can Ethan Allen turn around? Can it turn everything around? Can it transform this short-term pain into long-term gain? Let's take a look with Farooq Kathwari. He is the chairman and CEO of Ethan Allen Interiors. Find out more about where his company is headed. Mr. Kathwari, welcome back to Mad Money.
Hello, Jim. So good to see you.
Oh, good to see you. Thank you, sir.
It's a pleasure.
Have a seat. Farooq, you're in a major turnaround. And it's really major. I mean, in a conference call, you lay it all out. You've got new iterations coming out. You've got new factories coming on. Is this a tough time for Ethan Allen, or is it just a transition time for Ethan Allen?
It's both.
It is, okay.
Now, take a look at it. We are 82 years young. I was actually in northeast Vermont last week and got a little bit of a cold.
Okay.
It's minus 40 there.
Wow.
And I'll come back to Vermont. You know, we are going through another major reinvention. We have, in the last 82 years, now I myself, 30 years, have been involved with a number of reinventions. This is major because, you know, the world has changed. Today, when you take a look at the world, we have the impact of globalization and commoditization on one hand. We have the impact of even consumer attitudes. It's interesting. On one hand, a lot of consumers don't want service, but then on the other hand, you talk to them, you have surveys, they say, we really miss having good service.
Right.
And then finally is technology. So all of these are making it, for us, really, we are going through the next, I would say, reinvention.
Now, when I went through the catalogs and going over them with several people, it's very clear that the new lines are very up with the times. But you mentioned the commoditization, and you talk about in the conference call the mass merchants. These other guys do play. They don't have American manufacturing. Is there really value to American manufacturing? Can the customers see it? Because they're making it cheap overseas, and you're not doing that.
Yeah, if you are not vertically integrated as we are from the concept of an idea to design, to engineering, to manufacture, to retail. We have 1,500 interior designers. Right. We have in North America 500 overseas. Now, if we didn't have those, and you didn't have people who could explain quality, then you end up going into a commoditization and cut down on quality because there's nobody there to explain.
But Crate and Barrel in our house, they do have good quality.
Yes, they do, of course. And, you know, quality, I think when you're talking of a mass merchants, commoditization in mass merchandising are real, commodity-oriented merchants, like similar to what's happened in home improvements, similar to what's happening in electronics. Right. And they do a lot of business.
But you go on and you talk about how, listen, we're very early through in our turn. So I'm trying to figure out why to tell people to own it now versus when you're going to be much further along and the changes have been made and the whole product line's refreshed. Why move now with the stock when the company might be doing better 6 months from now?
Well, if you take a look at you mentioned about this miss. Well, we didn't miss. I mean, the analysts missed it. We don't give any guidance.
Right, that's true.
And keep in mind, for 6 months, our adjusted operating earnings were 10%, despite all this chaos that we are going through.
Absolutely, and your cash position built. There are a lot of good things.
Our cash increased 15%.
Right.
Now, going back to the fact of this, you said American manufacturing. If we did not have customization, like, for instance, our sofa can be available in 1,000 different fabrics. Right. Our products are made with all kinds of different finishes. Now, what it does is gives an opportunity to design. Now, If we didn't have designers and we didn't have design centers, then having U.S. manufacturing would longer term is still good.
Right, but then you would be dealing with the furniture companies that you tell me that all went under.
That's
and
right.
yours survived.
That's right.
Because you do have a better model. When will we see all the new lines?
Yes.
By June?
No, I tell you now, what's happening is this. We introduced part of it last September, October,
Right.
November.
It's good-looking stuff.
And no, the one that you're going to see now, which is just being introduced and coming into our design centers from next month, is really fantastic. The third phase is going to be introduced in the summer, from marketed to the fall.
Okay.
By summer, we would have completed 70% of products, and also most of the floor samples would have gone. And keep in mind, we have been building manufacturing in North America.
No, I know you have.
And investing. You know, if I thought short term says close everything up, go offshore, make more profits, and build a lot of inventory. And you know what? Those folks are building a lot of inventory. A lot of it comes back.
Well, I like your long-term approach. I always have. That's Farooq Kathwari, he's Chairman, President, CEO of Ethan Allen. Go read the conference call. You'll understand the time frame. You'll understand the big transformation and why it may make sense to get in earlier than waiting to see the results. Stick with Cramer.
Thank you.